We break down the no-smoke welterweights. Is Errol Spence cheating? And a prediction delivered on. We get into all this next. Please like and subscribe. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers. Leave us a comment. Welcome to Friday's Check Hook. A whole lot of nothing going on in the welterweight division. And we called this Mayweather tension fight. We said it was going to happen, and it will. But let's start with the welterweights. This is an era of no-smoke welterweights. We saw it on PBC, all the top welterweights, all lined up, all on the same side of the fence. The top welterweights on the PBC side, which are all the best welterweights besides Terrence Bud Crawford, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, all on the PBC banner, all on the same side. These fights should be easy to make. Spence and Shawn Porter said this would be the easiest unification fight to make. They both wanted the fight. That all they had to do was call up Al, and they'd make the fight. Well, we saw this PBC on Fox special hosted by Chris Meyer, which was absolutely awful. They need to get their boxing right. Maybe they didn't have a whole lot of time to put this together. But feel free, Fox, to give me a call. I'll help you out. I'll help you get your boxing right, because that was awful. But I wanted to get into this. So Errol Spence, the IBF champ who says no one wants to fight him, is fighting a lightweight. This fight, obviously, I'm not a fan of. I've made many videos on this before, written articles on it, 3dboxingblog.com. This is not a good look. This is not a good fight, and there's really no need for this fight. There are plenty of welterweights that Errol Spence could have fought. To opt for a lightweight is, I mean, I understand it. It's an easy fight for Errol, fighting a guy 2 weight classes smaller, and you saw the size discrepancy, which is ridiculous, between him and Mikey. And I said it was going to look like this. I saw Mikey look small against Lipinets at 140. He was smaller than Broner. He just looks small at 140. The guy's a lightweight. That's what he is. He's a lightweight who comes up from featherweight. So, I don't know what you expected him. And then Errol Spence is one of the biggest welterweights I've ever seen. There's like him and Margarito and Jeff Horn. Like those are the biggest welterweights I've ever seen. I don't know how he shrinks down to 147. I don't know how he makes welterweight, but he does. I don't know how much longer he can make it. Like, they kept talking about how Kell Brook was a massive welterweight. And Kell Brook is a big welterweight. And Errol Spence is bigger than Brook was. Go back and watch that fight. But there's really no need for this fight. And Spence is going to break him down and destroy him. Look, this is going to end up being a cash-out fight for Mikey Garcia, which I think Mikey believes in his heart that he can win this fight. But he needs his brother. He needs his dad. He needs someone in his ear saying, you can't win this fight. It's not a fair fight. You're fighting a guy who's massively bigger than you. Then we have Pacquiao and Broner. And I'm somewhat into this fight, but this fight's a little bit silly. Manny Pacquiao signed with PBC, saying he wanted to fight the best welterweights that PBC has to offer, right? PBC, Al Heyman had the welterweights. He wanted those guys. So he's fighting Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner has a combined grand total of 1 win at welterweight. That's over Paulie Malignaggi. A very controversial decision, which I, and at least half the people watching, scored for Paulie Malignaggi. I thought it was very close. I didn't have much of a problem with the decision for going to Broner. But I scored it for Paulie, as did, I don't want to say most, but at least many people, possibly most. Take a poll, how did you score Malignaggi versus Broner? But my point is, that's the only win Broner had, that 47th. That was 5 years ago. He lost to Porter. He lost to Maidana. Why is he making this fight? Why is Pacquiao making a fight with Broner? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I think the fight will be entertaining. Both guys are always in entertaining fights. Outside of the Pacquiao-Mayweather, Pacquiao's never been in a boring fight. Broner's absolutely never been in a boring fight. So it should be an okay fight. But this is not one of the best welterweights in the world. It's not one of the best 140-pounders in the world. So I don't really understand why Pacquiao came over to this side of the pond to fight Adrian Broner when he said he wanted to fight the best. Sean Porter is fighting Yordenis Ugas. Look, I'm a fan of this fight. I am fine with this fight. It's a mandatory and a tough fight. And I said, this is not an official pick of Ugas, but upset alert. Right? Like, upset alert. Watch this fight, because this could be an upset. Not picking that. I'm just saying, Ugas is for real. He's tricky. He switch hits. He has good power. I don't care what you people say. Ugas has real power at 47. Okay? He's a real threat. He could win this fight. Not that he's going to, but he could win this fight. Again, he's played the upset role so many times. He upset Jamal James. He upset Thomas Delerme. He upset Ray Robinson. Right? He keeps upsetting people. He could win this fight. He very well could win this fight. But let's be real. Showtime Sean Porter said that he has to take his mandatory. He just won his belt. The WBC doesn't strip people like that. Yes, he's going to have to take this fight sooner or later. I agree. So I'm not mad at Sean. What I'm saying is that, look, Yordenis Ugas, and Errol Spence are all on the same side of the promotional banner. You easily could have fought Errol in March, because you're both fighting in March, and then fought Ugas summer or fall, whatever it may be, July, August, whatever. You easily could have, the WBC wouldn't have stripped you. You and Ugas are both repped by Al Heyman. You easily could have made this fight later and fought Spence now. I just, look, I don't have a problem with the fight. I think it's a good fight, and if this is cherry picking, it could be cherry picking gone terribly wrong, as Ugas could win this fight, and then he loses out on a rematch with Thurman or a fight with Spence. It could end up costing him big, because Ugas is no pushover. What I'm saying is, look, if you have to fight Ugas if you want to keep your belt, and you want to keep your belt. So this fight would have happened, but it didn't have to happen now. And plus, you said you were negotiating with Keith Thurman. You said that. You said you were 10 days into negotiating with Keith Thurman. And then all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, now you have to fight Ugas. Or this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But again, I'm fine with this fight, and I think it actually will be a good fight. So Sean Porter is the one welterweight I'm giving a pass to, even though I give him a pass skeptically. Danny Garcia versus Adrian Granados. Who cares and so what? This is a main event. Danny Garcia can't beat the top 147 pounders, although he's very, very competitive with them. And Adrian Granados is a 140 pounder. We know how this fight's going to go. Danny Garcia is going to fight a really, really close fight, a really good scrap, competitive scrap with Granados, and Danny Garcia is going to get the benefit of the doubt. Just like he did with Lamont Peterson, and just like he did with Herrera. And Granados is going to come up with the short end of this thing again. Can we put this guy at 40? Can we put Granados back at 140? He's not a 147 pounder. He's a 140 pounder. And he's a good 140 pounder. Can we get him a rematch with Broner at 140? Can we get him with Robert Guerrero at 140? Look, there are guys on the 140 pound side of PBC. Have him fight those guys. Why do you keep doing this? And even if Danny Garcia wins, if he beats Granados, do you then pick him to beat Errol Spence? No. Would you pick him to beat Thurman in a rematch? No. Would you pick him to pick Porter in a rematch? No. So what does this fight do? And why is this a main event? Put this on the undercard of Spence. That's what Danny Garcia is right now. He's not a top welterweight until he beats a top welterweight. Finally, my favorite topic. Keith Runtime Thurman. Oh boy. Okay, first off, I want to address Josesito Lopez. I like Josesito Lopez. I think if this fight happens, and notice I said if not when, it's scheduled for January 26th. I don't think that'll happen because Keith Thurman's a pathological liar. But if this fight happens, I like Josesito Lopez. I think Robert Garcia will have him ready. I think he'll have the perfect game plan for Lopez. I think Lopez will execute that game plan. I think he will have moments, especially with a rusty Keith Thurman. I think he'll land some shots. I think this will look similar to the way that Brandon Rios, fought Danny Garcia. But I want you to remember this. There are levels to this. And Josesito Lopez, who I like, who I think is a tough guy, who I root for, will have moments in this fight. But there are levels. And he's one level at least, possibly 2 levels below Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman will win the fight. Keith Thurman will win. And he'll probably stop him late in the fight. I mean, we're just being real. And what happened to fighting Sean Porter? I mean, this has just gotten absurd with Keith Thurman. I don't think he's going to fight January 26th. I said this last year. He wasn't going to fight in May. When he announced this last year with the PBC Showtime event, and he said he was going to fight last May. Well, he still hasn't fought. It's been 6 months since then. I don't think he's fighting in January. I don't think he's fighting again anytime soon. I think he's going to get another fake injury. Like, think about it. In the last, 3 years or so, 3.5 years, he's had more fake injuries than fights. He had a fake injury before he fought Sean Porter. Then he fought Porter, took almost a year off, fought Garcia. Then he's had 2 fake injuries since. So in the last 3 years, he's had 2 fights and 3 fake injuries. I don't think he's fighting him. I don't think Keith Thurman even wants to box anymore. I just don't think he wants to lose his belt, his WBA belt. He's already had his WBC stripped. And he's nothing with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman says, I don't think Terrence Crawford's really even a champion. Well, I don't think you're really a champion. Terrence Crawford beat the man who beat the man, right? Terrence Crawford beat Jeff Horn. If you don't like Jeff Horn, that's too bad because he beat Manny Pacquiao. I don't love Jeff Horn. I don't think Jeff Horn's a killer. I don't think Jeff Horn, he's maybe a top 10 welterweight, top 10 to 15 probably, but he beat Manny Pacquiao. That's for a fact. I don't think Keith Thurman can beat Manny Pacquiao. Jeff Horn did. And Crawford beat Jeff Horn. Beat him bad. And Keith Thurman goes, Jeff Horn doesn't go 5 or 6 rounds with me. Look, Keith Thurman, who do you knock out in less than 6 rounds? Give me the name of the guy, of the high-caliber fighter, of a former world champ, who you knock out in 5 or 6 rounds. Because it's been years if it's ever happened at all. You didn't knock out Porter. You didn't knock out Garcia. You didn't knock out Robert Guerrero. Right? So we're going back to Collazo. That was 7 or 8 rounds, and Collazo was giving you work. Like, why did you come back against Collazo? Collazo would have loved that fight. I talked to Collazo. Why would... Collazo beats Josecito Lopez, but you don't want it, and you're not even going to fight Josecito Lopez. I mean, this has gotten ridiculous with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman said, oh, I'm going to come back against Sean Porter straight away. I can come back. And he said he was going to fight Jesse Vargas almost a year ago. None of that's going to happen. I don't even think you're going to fight Josecito Lopez. So there it is. The top 5 welterweights on the PBC side. Spence, Pacquiao, Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, all in action at about the same time, early 2019. None of them are fighting each other. This is an embarrassment. This is a disgrace to boxing. And this is spitting in the face of the American fight fan. I'm just calling it what it is. To have them all in action, all at roughly the same time, and have none of them fighting each other, are just a problem. Next topic I wanted to get into. Errol Spence. No VADA testing for him? First off, I want to address first, why doesn't the IBF, who I've been a huge supporter of in the past, you can check 3D Boxing Blog, we've written articles on how we think the IBF is doing it right, but why doesn't the IBF require VADA testing? Second, Errol Spence has refused VADA testing in the past. This has become a reoccurring issue with the truth. Perhaps the truth ain't being so truthful, and I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just asking the question. Look, why wouldn't you want to take VADA test if you're clean? If you're not dirty, if you're clean, why wouldn't you take it? The only thing it would ensure is that your opponent is clean. That's all it would ensure. Look, if I have to take a test for taking whatever substance, and I'm about to fight someone, and he has to take it too, and I know I'm clean, I have nothing to worry about because I'm clean. Now this just makes sure he's clean. Right? Think about that logically. We got on Errol Lara. Errol Lara is one of my favorite fighters of all time. I love his skill set, and I love Lara. We got on him when he was asked to be removed from the WBC's clean testing program. We got on Billy Joe when he failed. And we're going to get on one of our favorite fighters, Errol Spence Jr. That's my boy, Dallas, Texas. I'm a huge supporter of Spence. But take the test. There's been issues with this before. Well, I don't understand the problem. If you're clean, just take the test. The only reason why you wouldn't want to take the test is because you're not clean. Give me some other reason. It ensures that if Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence fight has mandatory VADA testing, and I'm clean, it just ensures that Mikey's clean. Now Mikey's moving up 2 weight classes. It would make sense if, for any fight, if Mikey was going to be dirty, it would be this one. So don't you want to make sure he's clean? Oh, you don't? Well, why don't you? That's a problem. That's a problem. Let's keep this sport clean. Why not go through the extra step? Make sure it's clean. Just take the test. Look, this ain't baseball. This ain't hitting home runs. This is knocking people out. Okay, in the hurt business, if my opponent is on steroids, I now need to be on steroids to make this fight even. Spence has always had a back and forth push and pull relationship with VADA. The WBC has mandatory VADA testing. Okay, the WBC has the mandatory testing. It's what Laura refused to partake in. Errol Spence all of a sudden said he was negotiating with Shawn Porter, but that fight couldn't happen. Shawn Porter's the WBC champion. That would have required VADA testing. You don't like VADA testing. Then that fight with Shawn Porter can't be made. Look, I'm spitballing here. I don't know. Maybe there's some other reason. But it seems like Errol Spence doesn't want to do any VADA testing. It seems like he doesn't want to do any VADA testing. And because of that, he's not going to fight Shawn Porter. Unless there's something else here. Because they said it was going to be the easiest fight to be made. Oh, I'll make the fight. You want to do VADA testing? No, I don't want to do that. Again, I'm not accusing Errol Spence of anything. I'm just asking the question. Why not take if you're clean, why not take stricter testing? Just make sure your opponent is clean. That's all it's going to do. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts, comments below on Errol Spence and the state of the welterweight division. You see how I feel. Obviously, I'm pretty passionate about it on both the VADA testing. I think it's so important to keep boxing clean, as well as the no-smoke welterweights. Leave your thoughts, comments below. One last topic I want to get to, and I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm gonna. Floyd Mayweather and Tenshin Nasukawa, I'm sure I'm still saying that wrong, is back on, according to Floyd Mayweather, on New Year's Eve in Tokyo. Look, we said there was too much money for this fight not to happen. If I'm paying anyone $88 million, I don't care who you are, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, whatever. If I'm paying you $88 million for a 9-minute exhibition, you're going to take it. It's just too much money to say no to, right? I mean, let's be real. Floyd's making $88 million for a 9-minute exhibition against the undefeated smaller Japanese kickboxer. Something like 10 billion yen or something like that. Like, that's way too much money to walk away from. I said this, whatever it was, a week or two ago, this was a tactic. You can go back and listen to my original video on this. This was a tactic to get what Floyd wanted, which was no kicking, which he got. Okay, this is just a boxing exhibition. An aging legend and a young undefeated kickboxer. To me, nothing to see here. But I thought the same thing with the McGregor fight. I had no interest in watching that. 4 million other people did. So if a bunch of Japanese billionaires want to pay Floyd $88 million to watch this, you do you, Floyd. You go get your money. I have no problem with that. I have no interest in it. All right, there's not going to be any kicking. There's just going to be a boxing exhibition between Floyd and Tenshin Nasukawa. If billionaires want to pay that kind of money to watch it, have at it. I'm glad for Floyd, actually. Floyd, go get your $88 million. Makes no difference to me. But we just want to point that out, that the fight is back on. And one last pat on our back. We did say that fight was definitely going to happen on December 31st in Tokyo because there was too much money. This was simply a negotiating tactic by Floyd to use leverage to get something else that he wanted, which we suggested was either more money or no kicking, and it was no kicking, and that's what he got. So leave your thoughts, comments below on that Floyd Mayweather situation. Again, please hit the like and subscribe button for Friday's Check Hook. This is 3D Boxing signing off, saying thank you and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.